I'll start talking. We are live, y'all. Oh my God, I'm so excited. So this is Tracy Harrell, and I am president of It's All Bigger Than Me Consulting. I'm also a David Bear facilitator, which means I am a true believer that we can change the status quo, that we can change our lives. And so we got four ladies here who spent 3 days focused on changing their own lives, transforming. We're here at the Powerful Living Experience. And I'm leading a series called Living Powerfully. So we're going to bring some voices together and talk a little bit about what we've learned, just some quick highlights. It's what, 11 o'clock at night, ladies? And it's been 3 days of intensity. Okay, so we're gonna start over here with I think the sleepiest one in the room. Hi. So tell us really quickly who you are and tell us just a little bit about your experience overall.
Okay, hi. I'm Lolita Nunn. I have a background in human resources of 30 years, and I definitely had a breakthrough in finding out who I am, my self-worth, as well as what my purpose is moving forward. It makes me feel so good to know I've got the power.
Wait a minute now. You know you can't just say you got the power. Tell people what that means. This is about living powerfully.
Well, this is what it.
What does it mean to you?
What it meant. Okay, I just
break it down a little bit more for people who weren't here.
Having the power to me is knowing, is having the confidence and doing what I do best. Okay. And working with people, sharing my passion.
Yes.
Okay. And that being event planning. I am an event planner.
Okay.
I like to wow people.
Okay.
For me, wowing people becomes very therapeutic.
And so you
not only for them, but for me.
I love it. So you came out of this living powerfully experience. You came out of this feeling more confident, feeling more inspired, feeling more motivated.
Absolutely. I'm ready to go to work.
All right. All right. I'm coming back to you in a second here. Thank you very much. Okay, tell us who you are and tell us about what was your what? I know it's 11 o'clock. It's a wide lid. It's waisted above. I promise. I promise. I promise. She said, "I see you." Okay, y'all. Listen, we're having a good time, and let me tell you why. Because we have just had 3 days of transformation, and we're all united. And the concept of wanting to take what we've learned and share it with others. So, what would you share if you had to take some of the learnings from this past 3 days? What would you tell your 16-year-old self about some of the stuff you learned this weekend?
What I tell my 16-year-old self is that although you will go through trials, difficulties, few divorces, which I was afraid to mention before, I'm empowered to tell anyone because it's part of my story. It makes me who I am today.
Yes.
It's going to be fun. You will be fun. All right. Just keep studying. Always have a security plan and never put all your money into one man. Yeah, because you can do it alone. God equipped us with those skills.
I love it. Now, let's talk a little bit about living powerfully. You learned some principles this weekend. You learned some things. Tell us a few more of those generic concepts that you would want to share with others.
When you say what I've learned, I think for me, it was affirm.
Oh, nice.
Because I knew them, but I needed affirmation and confirmation that I was on the right.
Yes.
Because I've been on this journey for quite a while in terms of self-empowerment, improvement, and being a strong Black woman in this country. But I've also learned that it's in my journey of my struggle that teaches me strategic ways and measures to protect myself in any environment.
Say your name again.
Oh, I guess I didn't tell you. My name is Phyllis Nunn, and I'm from Paducah, Kentucky. I wear a few hats. I am an addiction recovery coach for Eastern Kentucky Concentrated Employment and the University of Kentucky. I'm also a medical massage therapist, a certified lymphatic drainage therapist, and facilitator. I am a corrections moral recognition therapist, certified, and I have worked in corrections. I actually market my services for the University of Kentucky SITE program, which is the Strategic Initiative Transformational Improvement.
Wow.
So I'm in the process of transforming lives in the correction center, also in recovery centers, and in May I will be teaching a variation of my training mixed with MRT and mixed also with David Bear's Powerful Living Experience, so that I can empower more people in recovery to know that there's a greater life beyond their mentality, their circumstance, and how they feel about themselves.
Love it. Wow.
Well, thank you.
I love it. I'll come back to you too. All right, Miss Catherine, tell us who you are and what would you like to share about your experience here, and anything you want to share about living powerfully.
My name is Catherine LeBlanc. I live in North Carolina. I have a background in business, education, and government. I consider myself semi-retired with a focus on the retirement. I too do some coaching. I do a lot of volunteering with various organizations. And my personal mission statement, which I've had for 30 years, is to joyfully and delightfully develop myself and others. So I've been on the development road for many, many years with a primary desire and motivation to be a free Black woman. Yeah. And that's who I am. Yes. And having that kind of freedom starts personally with just healing yourself of all of the garbage, all of the stuff that you don't even know is in there. And so whether you think that you are totally a healed, whole person or not, trust me, when you come to a session like David's, you get an opportunity to see that you still got stuff going on. And it may show up in the form of limiting beliefs that you didn't even know were driving you. But most of us inherit a lot of the way we are from the people who birthed us and reared us. And they probably did not intentionally do anything to have us feel ways which are probably not for our highest good, but it's the nature of just being a human being. And so when you come face to face with those kinds of issues and you decide you want to be the best person you can be while you're in this incarnation as a human being, the kind of practices, exercises, information, and knowledge that people like David make available is what helps you clean out the garbage and just become the most beautiful version of yourself possible. So I've been doing self-development work all of my adult life. And I take what I learned and I share it with others, starting with children when they listen. And I also take a stand for young African American young people. And I'm at a legacy stage in my career and in my life. So for me, it's all about the future. And the future are young people. And so as I continue to develop myself, I go back to my mission statement and I pick up developing others. And so coming this weekend has given me an opportunity just to think a little bit more about some areas that I can continue. And I had a specific breakthrough that I'm going to be sharing with my daughter. And I look forward to that.
Oh my goodness. I love that. I love that we all continue to grow and to develop.
Otherwise, you die. You die or you stunt. You might not be, you die literally. But boy, do you die in any other way. I'm going to remain vibrant and alive until the day the Great Spirit calls me home.
See, I love that so much. Was there any one particular topic that if you had to take to someone who wasn't here for the last 3 days, but who is going to participate in our upcoming Living Powerfully series, is there any particular topic or thought that you would want to share, like the one most powerful element that people can use immediately to drive change in their lives? What would that be?
It's the power of vision. I have utilized vision for as long as I can remember.
Okay.
I will create a vision for my day. I'll create a vision for a trip. I'll create a vision for anything that I am seeking to bring into reality. And David's program talks about spiritual vision as well as life vision. Both of those are absolutely crucial for making sure that you know where you're going. Because the Bible says, without vision, the people perish.
You got an amen all around the room on that one. Thank you, Miss Catherine. We'll come back to you. Hello, beautiful.
Hello. How do I follow all this?
Right. I'm trying to zero in on you. Okay. So, what is your name?
I'm Nicole Woodcox.
What have you passed? Yes. Yes.
I'm Nicole Woodcox Bolden. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, a family coach, doula, childbirth educator. I like to support people and equip them with skills. And my theme, my mission statement going forward is to equip women and families with the skills and the support that they need to live life boldly.
Right.
And so I do that through my clinical social work and my coaching, and just kind of be a force in life, spread some good cheer, and help people feel safe. Because if you don't feel safe, you don't have the capacity to be creative, to step outside your comfort zone, and just to really enjoy life. That's my big thing, my big mission.
I love it. I love it so much. So you, not only did you spend 3 days as a part of the Powerful Living experience, but you were one of the volunteers showing up looking just like Black brilliance, Black beauty. We could see you standing at the front door. I was like, okay, now at the VIP door is where you were. So why is it so important for you to just show up for your people? And that's really what we're doing with this program, with this initiative called Living Powerfully. We wanted to show up and really talk about our experiences. Why was it so important for you to show up and be a part of this?
Well, because sometimes we go to programs like this and there's not a lot of people that look like us. And there's not a lot of people in leadership that looks like us in these programs. And so even if I'm just volunteering, I want to be a part of the team, so other people like, oh, there is diversity there, because then you feel comfortable, you feel safe, your mind is open to learn. And so if I can provide any amount of safety to people, I want to do so, because I know I've been to many events and I was the only chocolate drop in the room and I did not feel safe, and I know I didn't receive as much as I could have received because I was worried about stereotypes, everyone looking at me without a token.
Right.
And so I never want anyone else to feel that way, because I know how that feels.
And we were coming up, we were walking over from the convention center. You talked about community and how important it is for us to learn and share and grow in community. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so you can have a lot of ideas in your head, but if you don't have people to process that with, brainstorm that with, wordsmith it with, it just stays stuck and it doesn't allow it to grow. And so community is important. And the right community. Because you could be in community, but not everyone's for you, and not everyone's going to support your growth. Some people want you to stay where you are because they're comfortable with that. And so it's important that you surround yourself with a variety of communities. One, that you're comfortable and the people gonna love you forever, but you also have the people that's gonna stretch you. Otherwise, you're gonna stay where you are, and you can't live bigger.
I love it.
And so community is important.
Love it. So what would you share as one of your big ahas this weekend? Was there anything that was helped you to feel like you were in a transformational state to live powerfully?
Yeah, so a lot of this was affirmation, like affirming things that I'm aware of. But we know a whole lot of things. I have a whole lot of head knowledge, but this called forth, like, I'm here, now implement me, utilize me. And so the power to make a decision. Like, we can have the thoughts, we can have the want, we can have the dream, but until we actually decide we're gonna live that, it's just gonna stay in your head. And so just the reminder that I need to make a decision really reminded me to just do it.
Now, when you say make a decision, people may not understand that we're talking about beliefs.
Yes.
One of the things that we say within the David Bear community is beliefs are decisions.
Yes.
And so if you know about the 5 primary drivers, the fact that our beliefs are really what dictates our thoughts, and our thoughts dictate our feelings, and our feelings is what lead to our actions or inactions. And those actions is what lead to the results in our life. And based on the results, that triggers back to the beliefs, and it's an endless cycle, right? So tell us a little bit about this idea of choosing new beliefs, deciding something new. Why is that so powerful for you? And what do you think you're gonna choose to do differently?
Well, it's really reminded me to be super intentional with, I just use different language for everyone to be on the same page. Intentional with my self-talk, intentional with how I'm nurturing certain ideas in my head, how I'm nurturing my capacity, my abilities, my drive to do things. Saying, okay, yes, I can do that. I don't have to say I'm never going to go to that place because they don't like Black people. I've heard this a lot, like, oh, I'll never go there to someone. But the power to make a decision is kind of disregarding all that. Like, no, if I want to go there, I believe I'm accepted everywhere. Everywhere I am, I'm supposed to be.
Yes.
That's my intentional talk, my intentional belief, because that's going to help me live bigger.
I love that. I love that. Ladies, real quick, I know it's late. We coming up on the midnight hour. You all right over here? You all right? You all right? So as one follow-up question, tell me is there anything you would share about this idea? She mentioned vision. We also talked about the importance of changing when we have those limiting beliefs. I'm gonna put this out to everybody. When we have those limiting beliefs, right? A belief that is not aligned with an action that you want to take in your life, right? Is there any one of you would like to share a little bit about, something? Yes.
Well, I took a lot of pictures, but I was taking notes, but I like this one in particular.
Yes.
You must let go of what you're holding on to in order to make room for the more that has been trying to come your way. So in other words, if you're thinking about the negatives, that's what's going to show. If that's a thought that you manifest in your brain, it will manifest in your actions. So therefore, if that's 100% of you and your psyche and your mind and your cognition, you don't have anything else. You can't even see. And energy is vibration. I know that being in massage. I can touch someone, I can pull energy, and also allow them to receive, to move, and allow circulation, which is blood, water, and energy, which is nothing but the God force. The God in all of us.
Yes.
And the Holy Spirit that works with our Holy Spirit, with our spirit.
Yes.
That can make change. Well, if you're not in touch or aware that you are on 3 parts, it doesn't matter what you believe in. You can't take away the energy because you're not going to move. And energy also within the body has already been determined that there is a molecular weight attached to the spirit. So therefore, once it departs, body gets a little bit lighter, but you're still left with the blood and the flesh. the oxygen's gone. So when you think about yourself in terms of spirituality and that we are all interconnected because we are all energy, that's something that you cannot negate. And if negativity is energy and positive is energy,
yes,
and if they balance each other, you're going nowhere.
I love it.
There's a positive and a negative, a yin and a yang. And if it's imbalanced or neutral, neutral means you're stuck.
I love it.
So you better have more positive going on and decrease the negative so you can move forward. Just like this passage said, if you must let go of what you're holding on to. And she talked about the beliefs that don't enable you. They can debilitate those negative beliefs. So if you're still holding on to them in order to make room for more that you've been trying to do, you better think purely about those thoughts. Identify them, make a decision. Forget the grudges. Forget what people have done to you. And if you give away your respect, which is another thing he said, why'd you give it away? Why? Nobody can take anything from you unless you allow it.
Right.
They can take your life, but if you're still breathing, you got some air, you got your self-worth, that's what's most important. You better start thinking about yourself and your relation to God, what he has purposed you to do on this earth. And it's not to come here, sit at home, to, I don't want to step on any toes, but I work with a lot of people in addiction recovery, and some that are coming out of the penal system. I got my respect. They want to shoot somebody. They got, what does your respect have to do with taking somebody's life? I mean, don't they have a right to their life too? I mean, and you're walking around with all this stuff.
I love it.
I get it. I don't know what got you here. Sometimes, well, the 95% of it, trauma occurred, childhood trauma. And then today with David Baird, didn't we go back to the womb and the trauma?
Right.
So everybody has it. But if everybody has it, what's the difference between those who do something about it, to deal with it, to minimize it, versus the ones who embrace it, hold on, hold a grudge, kill someone, take some with them because they're hurting, because hurting people hurt people. And how do we get to those people? He talked about community.
Yes.
If we're going to be the new community of today, a new type of disciple, we got some work to do.
Right, right. And it's about being consistent, showing up. So, ladies, I'm going to ask you two final questions. How would you define living powerfully? Who wants to do that? Living powerfully. What does that mean to you? What does living powerfully mean to you? Beautiful.
I would say, taking some of the language that we learned today, it is living in a state that's not just reactive to fight or flight. So not being in that primal state, being able to regulate your emotions so that you can live out your dream, live out your vision, and just do the things that you really want to do instead of doing the things just to try to protect yourself and keep yourself safe. Because that's going to limit you. You're not living powerfully, you're living reactively. If you're reacting to everything, how can you feel powerful? So yeah, it's just trying to regulate your emotions, regulate your body so that you can have the capacity to live great.
I love it. I love it. I'm gonna have you pass the microphone, and we're gonna ask Ms. Catherine the same question. How would you define living powerfully?
For me, it is having a sense of who you are.
Put the microphone down.
Having a sense.
Sorry, I'm gonna start over. You can keep talking. Sorry. What does living powerfully mean to you?
For me, it means having a sense of who I am, and being grounded in that sense of identity. And whether that identity comes from being a child of God, or even also recognizing my ancestry and being very, very proud and grounded in that, and being confident. I was blessed to be born with a lot of confidence. I know that it is a gift from God to be a confident human being that has not had to question her self-concept. So to be grounded in all of that, to me, is the beginning of being able to live powerfully, because it is that confidence that is going to take you places that you may not have been before. And to feel that you have the right to have your say and make your contribution, regardless of where you are and whose company you're in. So confidence, self-concept, and sometimes the reason you need to do work like David's work is to uncover your self-concept, because it may have been just covered over in what I call the muck and mire, like those emotions like anger and envy and upset and jealousy. That's what I call the muck and mire. And sometimes your beautiful self is up under all of that.
I love it.
And that's why this kind of work is so vital.
I love it.
And if you have a desire to live powerfully, you know, my experience is you draw upon your spiritual underpinnings. You become real clear about what your values are, whether it includes integrity, you know, living as ethical a life as you can, kindness and compassion toward others, all kinds of values. So
thank you so much. I love that. Ladies, real quick, I got 2% battery left on this thing. So what does living powerfully mean to you?
I'll be very quick.
Yes.
I love that he talked about, he gave me permission to have a spiritual vision.
Yes.
I would formerly be afraid to speak.
Yes.
But I'm not afraid to speak it anymore.
I love
it's
it.
What I stand for, what I believe in, and that's what I will convey to the world.
I love it. I love it. What does living powerfully mean to you?
Okay.
30
living
seconds.
powerfully to me means